Welcome back to South Today Sport, continuing our discussions on netball matters far and wide with Pulse coach Robin Broaden. Welcome back, Robin. Just before we move on to the international scene, I just talk briefly about the changes to the ANZ Championship, 2 conferences, more playoff positions, 6 qualifiers. Are you excited about what that potential is?
Oh, yes, I am actually. It means that 3 teams from New Zealand and 3 teams from Australia will be automatic qualifiers if they're first, second or third in their conference. So that's 6 in a playoff round, and that will just probably increase the time that the competition goes on and increase the competition competitive nature of it. So yeah, I'm interested in it, and let's hope it's successful.
And a challenge trophy put up for grabs, so they're going to do it by lot, I understand, draw a team out of the hat. Pulse might be the defending champions. Right. You get a trophy, and every time anyone plays you, it's up for grabs, trying to build a Rampley Shield type interest. It'll take a while to kick on, I think. Yeah,
it probably will. And that where's that played? Is that which team? Whoever's the home team.
Whenever you've got, I think it's up for grabs every time the team plays. I don't need to clarify that,
right.
but we'll see how that plays out anyway. At least it's an idea, isn't it?
It is, and it's nice to think they'll do it.
All right, let's talk about the international scene. Obviously, a big disappointment that just the gap between Australia and New Zealand at test level seems to be widening. We're not. Are they getting better, or we're getting worse, or is it a combination of both?
Well, it's hard to say. I thought the Australians, to be honest, were outstanding. I think their agility, their nimbleness, their speed, their complete team on the court was conducive to everything. They did everything right. They played well together. They trust one another. The ball speed was amazing. So we probably need to look at that. We probably need to look, and they've worked hard on their control of penalties against them. For instance, we probably gave away an inordinate amount of goal kick penalties in one quarter, I remember, and I think the player was changed. But, you know, Laura Geitz is a strong physical player, but at the moment, you know, she's not getting pulled up as she used to because she's had a good look at the penalty rate and things like that. So they're quite smart, and they're very fast. Very fast. Their ball speed's amazing.
You talked about the depth at ANZ level. We saw an example of that where they could play perhaps some second-tier players, and when the game wasn't going well, they put other people on and win the game back.
They do, and they can do it with confidence. And it is interesting because I saw one game where they put Shani Layton on, took Lara Gutzel. She's got a knee injury, and she didn't have a good quarter when she first went on. But my goodness me, when she came back on in the next quarter, she was the one that got the 3 or 4 turnovers in the last quarter that gave them that win in the final game. So they're very sure of what they're doing and very confident of themselves and what's around them. Conversely, we were probably, some players are doing more work, taking too many passes in comparison to the others, or we're not trusting enough, I don't think. But I think the biggest change was that when we played a different type of defence in the last game, because it's pointless us chasing players like those Australians that have been playing that sort of game since they're probably 8 or 9 years old. So I think we should stick to our own, what we're good at, and get better at that.
Yeah, I think what worried the fans is if you know it's going to be tough against Australia, but then we played England and lost that first test, and suddenly the alarm bells were ringing loud and clear there, and they rallied for the second, but there's not a lot of comfort there.
No, there's a bit of a worry. Although, to be fair, England have really improved, and if they meant that the mental strength of them is what lets them down. You know, just at crucial times they'll collapse and give away 5 goals in a row, which at international level is no good. But the English certainly have improved, and I think there's a few more coming on there as well. So, which is good for world netball. It's much more exciting if there's 3 or 4 teams fighting it out rather than. I think the Jamaicans could do a lot better too if they retain possession. That they're likely to keep with you and then have a bit of a casual sort of 5 minutes and. Let it go. So it's not just your physical ability and your skill; it's your mental strength to finish off those games. And the English probably, once they strengthen up in that direction, they're going to be a force.
A lot of concern around our shooting circle with Irene retiring, of course, and Tutai being injured, and suddenly we had some gaps to fill and struggle, and a lot of pressure on the likes of Latu to perform in hot and cold.
She was hot and cold, but there were times I thought maybe she should be back on now and maybe get a bit of the confidence back, or because I've got high regard for her. She can be very good, Catherine, and I'm sure that this will come again. I just thought she had a bad patch during the competition, and maybe it's mental too, I don't know. But Maria's injury is a problem. Like, it's a plantar fasciae type injury, and they're miserable injuries, and they're hard to get back to what they were. So yeah, we did have a bit of bad luck in that respect.
And injuries at the other end of the court, and a horrific one to Casey Kapui. So she's only marginal about making next World Cup, let alone the ANZ Championship. She wants to be in the ANZ Championship, but it won't be rushed back, will it?
I wouldn't think so, because it was a severe injury, and it just, when you look at the replays, it certainly went, and it went in a big way. And they're nasty injuries, but I mean, she's a good, strong, healthy person. I'm sure that she'll do the rehab the right way, and she may be back for ANZ, but I think they need her for World Cup, so I hope she is okay and be back on deck.
And what about the mid-court strength? Laura Langman, maybe not at her best at the moment. I've seen her play better.
I think she was trying to do too much. I think it just went, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and it suddenly sort of just gets the better of players that are anxious. I thought she looked a bit anxious. She'll be fine. I'm sure she'll be fine. Jolene Henry, she plays for us. I usually play a wing defence, but I think I would she's a good centre player as well, so there's an alternative there if necessary. Liana and Grace at wing attacks, both of them are capable. So I think they can all put it together. It's more what we do through the court, what our when we're on D, or when there's a turnover, how do we hold those Australians up? Like, there's just those things that we need to work on. The players are there, I'm sure we can get them right, but we'll just have to see.
I did want to just finish on the Fast Five, which is I had my doubts about it. This last year, big crowds, they seem to have the format just about right to attract the interest, and then it's got cancelled. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Because there were some elements of that game which impressed, the lack of penalties, the long shooting, things that we've talked about as good things to introduce.
It is. Well, I think it's to do with sponsorship, commercial reasons that it's not going to be continued, which is a shame, because they've always had good crowds. Way back when I first took the first 5 team in Liverpool, it was really good. I didn't think the English crowds would come out for something like that, but so it is a popular game, and the girls love playing it. They get a lot of fun out of it, and that's why they look like they're enjoying it, and everybody's happy and jolly, and it's not a lot resting on your shoulders with it. It's just play the way the game's set up, which is long passes, speed, shoot from wherever you feel like it, that sort of thing. So it's much more freedom for the girls in that game. Yeah.
I was hoping that some of the elements might be migrating, but there's no sign of that at the moment.
We tried the 2-point-1 shooting one at the under-23s, but it got really muddly, especially the running, and then the running on and off, the substitution rule. And finally, there were so many people crowded into the top quarter of it, because in Fast Five it's only 5 players, but you see and it was easy to block up the top of the circle where you were going to get 2 points for them, for 3 points. So it wasn't as successful as we had hoped, I don't think.
Work to be done.
Work to be done.
All right, look forward to following your progress throughout next year. All the very best for that new format, the ANZ Championship.
Thank you, Tom.
That's the South Today tonight. See you on Monday.